Welcome back to my Dark Side GOTB series, everyone. Today we're going to be looking at the P2 Special mission. This mission is one of the toughest out of them all, but ironically the actual tactics to beating it are really straightforward and really depend on the gear of your Geos. In the footage featured later in this video, I have all of my Geos only gear 12 with my best mods on them. However, these days with Spy, Soldier and Sunfac at Relic 4, I can beat the mission easily without swapping mods, which is a nice relief. So if you have Geos gear 13 plus already, be sure to check out my 5-minute modding video on Geos, as this is the best way to mod them for general use. If you're running them at gear 12, however, then follow the modding advice in this video. Without any further delay, let's get started. So starting up, we're going to talk a little about the mission. There is only one wave, which consists of fighting a 3-way battle against the Acklay. There'll be 4 random Jedi who will spawn who will attack both you and the Acklay. As we have already covered the Jedi abilities in a previous video, we're not going to go into too much detail about them, as for the most part they're irrelevant. The only thing you have to watch out for is Kit Fisto, Jedi Vanguard, Jedi Knight Guardian and Jedi Sentinel. So basically the AOEs, as they can cause you problems. You can either choose to kill the AOEs off as they spawn, or just keep them ability blocked so they cannot use their AOE abilities. Beware that the Jedi Sentinel will stealth when hit, so this can be a problem. AOE damage can really hurt your Geo team, and with the Acklay hitting hard, an unlucky Jedi AOE can cause you to lose someone. Outside of this, you should be focusing on the Acklay only at all times. Moving on to the Acklay himself, he has a lot of dangerous abilities you need to be aware of. Let's start off with the basic, Fierce Strike, which will inflict daze to its target. Not great at all, but considering most of the time this will only go on to Brute, it shouldn't be too much of a problem overall. His first special ability, Overwhelming Fury, is a very powerful AOE ability that can cause your team a lot of damage if unprepared, and even more if you are dazed. So be sure to cleanse yourself of daze when you know the Acklay is due to use this ability. His final special ability is the Terrifying Roar, which will dispel all of your buffs and remove 75% of your turn meter. This will also trigger the Acklay's enraged state and resummon any Jedi that have been killed. The Acklay also has 2 unique abilities, with the first being Frightening Adversary, which grants Acklay 15% protection up for each dazed enemy until the start of his next turn. And also at the start of each of his turns, all dazed enemies are exposed, so keeping daze off your team as much as possible is very important in this fight. This ability also makes Acklay take 50% more damage when being attacked during his turn. So basically when you kill a Jedi, your team gets Retribution, which can help your damage out if you decide to kill the AOE Jedi. His second unique ability allows Acklay to use 2 attacks per turn, and also has 50% extra tenacity. He will also deal 10% less damage for each Jedi present, which is why sometimes it's nice not to actually kill them. He also gains 5% turn meter whenever he's damaged, which obviously fills up pretty quickly considering the Geos all assist each time an ability is used. The Acklay will also start each fight enraged, which can only be dispelled by Brood Alpha, which we'll talk more about in a few minutes. Acklay is also immune to all the debuffs shown on the screen. When enraged, the Acklay will deal double damage, and while not enraged, he deals 25% less damage, has minus 20% speed and minus 50% tenacity. So moving on now, we're going to talk quickly about our team of Geos. I know the mission only requires 6-star Geos, but without 7-star, at least gear 12 and some strong mods, you're going to seriously struggle to beat this mission, and would probably be better off using them on a combat mission to get some extra waves for your guilds. Please keep in mind in the battle my Geos are only full gear 12, they are not relicked in the battle footage. Moving on to Zetas, you're going to want Brood Unique, which will basically make Brute spawn when the fight starts and taunt. This is great because it prevents the Acklay from inflicting daze on the more important members of your team early on in the fight, like Poggle for his ability block basic, Spy and Soldier for their raw damage, or even Sunfac for his dispel on basic. The second Zeta, which is Brute's lead, will really help up your damage, as it's 10% more damage for each buffed enemy. Given a lot of the Jedi have buffs as well as the Acklay, this can amount to an extra 50% more damage for each of your Geos, which will really help speed the fight up. Another important thing to mention is Brood Alpha will gain a new ability in this fight, which allows him and only him to remove the enraged state from the Acklay. This needs to be used whenever the Acklay becomes enraged to remove it as quickly as possible. It's also the reason having Brood Alpha modded with fast mods is important, so we can keep up with the Acklay's cooldown. Alright, now we're going to quickly go through the mods, starting with our lead, Brood Alpha. Speed is the priority here, so we can keep up with the Acklay's enrage. These were my best mods at the time of filming, and I managed to get him to 297 speed, Outside of this, look for protection primaries where possible. On to Spy. I've modded him with crit damage and crit chance sets with a total of 252 speed. He's going to be a big source of damage, so try and get offense on the cross and crit damage on the triangle if possible. Next up is Sunfak, who we've modded with full health sets, protection primaries over health, and a total of 247 speed. It's important for him to be tanky to help support the team with his taunts if Brute dies. Up next we have Poggle, who for this mission I modded with fast health and defense sets, mainly for the extra survivability and the speed secondaries if I'm being honest. He ended up with 246 speed. He's probably the squishiest of the group, so it's good to boost him up in case a flurry of AOEs come your way. And finally we have Soldier. I actually didn't swap mods on him even back when they were gear 12, so he's modded with basic crit damage and crit chance sets as he's a major damage dealer. I also ended up with a total of 225 speed on him. You also need to aim for 80% plus crit chance on him as he gains 25% turn meter when scoring a critical hit. Right, let's get started on the actual mission. Just to inform you all, I do make quite a few mistakes in this footage as it's from my first or second ever try. I decided to use this footage as my Geos are gear 12 and I'd rather show it can be done without having to invest in relics. So as you can see, we're going to start by removing the Enrage from the Acklay and putting an ability block on all of the AOE Jedis. Now he has just got that off, but that's unfortunate, but we can't really do anything about it. Let's get him ability block now. So that's going to get him ability block hopefully. Yep. Now we're going to go on to Fisto and do the same to him. And now we're going to try and get a big hit on the Acklay with Spy's second. We're just going to keep hammering on him for now. We probably should have ability blocked the Sentinel, but I didn't do that in this footage. We do have a little bit of Daze starting to come on the field, which isn't great. So we're going to need to cleanse that in a second with Poggle's second, which cleanses Daze, so very helpful. Okay, the Jedi are actually helping us when they're not using their AOEs. They're focusing down the Acklay, which does help a little bit. So we've just used Brute's big hit ability. We've got Daze on Sunfak. We're starting to get AOEs again, which is why it's important to keep them all ability blocked. Thinking back now, it's probably better to actually kill the Sentinels because they're extremely annoying to deal with and to keep ability blocked throughout the fight. So we've finally almost got through the protection now. There's about 25% left. The Jedi are starting to hit. We have killed one of them. So we're going to try an ability block. No, actually, no. We're just going to keep going on the Acklay for now because the cooldown on the AOE is pretty fast. So we don't have to worry about Vanguard too much. And Sentinel is still stealthed. So I think now we're going to do a big hit on the Acklay. Spy's second is great because when you remove a buff, it deals even more damage. So that helped really up our damage a little bit on him then. So we're going to try and keep going. Actually, no, she's still got a cooldown. So we're going to keep on the Acklay. Blind should reduce some of the damage as he's going to miss. However, I don't think it blocks his AOE. Yeah, as we can see here, it's still damaged even though we had Blind, which isn't great, but it does still protect us from the basics. Overall, the fight pretty much carries on the same. Like I said at the start of the video, once you know what you're doing, there really isn't much to it. I see this battle more of a gear and basic knowledge kind of fight than a really advanced tactics kind of fight. Ironically, I often feel the real danger comes from well-timed synergy between the Jedi AOEs, as when they all go off around the same time, combined with a big hit from the Acklay, it can really destroy your team very quickly. I'm glad I actually made errors in this footage because it allows you to see some of the things that can go wrong when you don't keep enough focus on controlling the Jedi. That being said though, most of the time you can get away with a mistake or two if you're lucky, but do your best to prevent this if possible. So basically the main things you need to do throughout the battle are, do your best to keep the AOE Jedi ability blocked or killed, make sure to remove the Enrage stack off the Acklay as soon as possible, cleanse Daze with Poggle or Brood if it goes on anyone but Brute, and finally just keep up the DPS on the Acklay and heal up with Conscription as much as you can. So we're at the point now we're about to kill him off. He's just given us a big hit that almost cost us the run because all our Geos are really low. But we're going to kill him off now and be done with it finally. Obviously it gets easier the higher gear you have. But if you're not that interested in taking Geos further than gear 12, then I'm happy to tell you this mission is still beatable. And we're done for today everyone. I hope you all enjoyed and learned a lot from this video and can use the advice given here to crush that special mission in phase 2. I'd also like to take this chance to thank each and every one of you for supporting the channel. We have grown so much more than I originally thought possible, and I can't wait to keep making more content for you all. Please continue to support the channel, and if you like this video, please be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, ring that notification bell, join my Discord server, and share the video with your friends. Thanks for watching everyone, and I'll see you all very soon.